This girl caught some small fish, but he did not rush to eat it but put it in a bucket and crushed it, and threw it back into the sea. Then he took a long stick, and stood in the water waiting for something to appear. Smell of blood in the water attracts sharks. Even though this shark is very scary, the genes still decided to take risks with it. He took a stick and stabbed the fish in the head. Seeing that his staff had passed the shark's head, he was very happy, as if he had just won 500 million rupiah. After going down, he tried to starve himself to change his mind, and hung the fish from a high branch. I was sitting in the dugout waiting. It seemed he was waiting for something even scarier. But because today had consumed too much energy, so he quickly fell asleep. At this time, something unexpected happened. When he woke up, the shark was gone. This proved his thinking was correct. There are even scarier creatures here. The next day, he planned to get out of here again. After filling his friend's corpse with sand, he returned to packing his luggage. It is impossible to rely only on one. Finally, the suitcase turned over, and only helplessly returned to a deserted island. Seeing that it was getting dark, he just had to head to the cave for the night. But danger is imminent. Monster tried to crash into the cave. He didn't dare make any sound. Now any sound can make him angry. Finally, the gene got away with it. The next day, he crawled out of the broken tree cave. He had to use the morning light to create a wand against the terrifying monster. At this time, there was a body washed ashore. Fright rushed to take the stick. Turns out it was his friend yesterday. He was the one who was bitten by a monster and lost his lower body. Do your best to pull your friends ashore. This time he did not bury it again, but hang it like the shark before. That night, he hid in the observation cave again. Monster took the bait again. Found a tarp on the beach. Then use the iron stick to stab it. Then use your feet to kick hard and go over to the other side. Find a 3.5 meter long hemp rope. He tested the rope by tying it to the trunk of a coconut tree. Seeing that this rope could support the weight of an elephant, he happily untied it. He found 2 coconut trees suitably spaced. So a simple bed is done. He lay in the hammock, looking out into the distance below. It's also quite far away, so it's reassuring. It turns out that on this island there is a mystical creature. When night falls, he will go hunting. But the genes are already on top. But that night, the monster still came looking for him. Lay in the hammock, not daring to breathe. Monster started shaking the coconut tree violently. Genes are also rapidly dropping. Could only run along the beach. Monster quickly chased after him. He struggled to swing the staff in his hand. Unexpectedly, it was thrown to the ground, then thrown into the sea. At this time, the monster suddenly disappeared. Next day, a lifeboat was found coming from far away. It turned out to be her boyfriend Lucas and her best friend Mia. Quickly report the situation here to them. But they both don't care. They all thought it was impossible for monsters to exist on a remote island like this. Seeing the 2 people refused to leave, Jen just had to hide the coconut in the box, then push the coffee maker away. Unexpectedly, they quickly found him, so the 2 of them went to stop him. He also used the paddle to hit his best friend. That's why he passed out. When Jen woke up, it was already dark. His hands were tightly tied. He is still trying to persuade his girlfriend to leave immediately. Just then, they heard Mia scream. Lucas sees this and comes over with a torch. Then start attacking the monster. Unexpectedly, the monster immediately kicked him, then caught Mia and plunged into the sea. The next day, Lucas prepared his food and left. But the real danger is just beginning. Lucas tries to get on the boat. At that moment, a black shadow flashed in front of him. He was terrified and quickly turned around to look at the genes. Just then, a pair of black rabbit claws gripped him. The 2 quickly hid inside. The monsters kept attacking. It started using its claws to split the ferry. The poor ferry had a hole. 2 people inside tried to fight back. Lucas even kicked the monster in the head. Lucas quickly pulled the signal gun towards him. The first shot missed. On the other hand, that also makes the whole raft smell of smoke. The second shot Lucas fired went straight into his mouth. The monster finally returned to the sea. When they thought they had been rescued, the monster was dragged out to sea. Turns out that the mysterious monster is a mermaid. using the last of his strength to draw out the dagger, then stabbed the monster in the stomach. Seeing this, the fisherman swam towards the ship, then dragged Lucas to the bottom of the sea. By this time, the jeans had swam ashore. When the mermaids didn't show up, she sharpened some sticks, then get up in a big heap, getting ready to fight the monster. That night, the mermaids followed the firelight. Not paying attention, he immediately ran there. He kept poking her. Finally, the mermaid could no longer stand. It still has enough strength to push the jean into the sand. He saw that he had no way to run. He could only take the risk to fight it. At this moment, the monster screamed, finally fell on the sand. Be careful to look. Then continued to stab him, until it was determined that it was actually dead. The island behind is still burning. The only thing he could do now was wait for help to arrive.